All right, hi guys, welcome to Neil's podcast, and today we have Jay and
Hello, hello,
hello,
hello.
hello.
At this point, bro, why am I even a guest, bro? I've been on like virtually every episode of this shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll stop screen sharing now. Wait, oh my gosh, what's going on? Wait, stop streaming.
All right.
All right. So, we're gonna talk about high school. So, Jay, why don't you start off first? Cause,
Bro,
you
I
know,
got so much to say.
yeah, same
Okay,
here.
so first of all, let's start
Yeah.
off by talking about our high school background. Like, when did you graduate? Or
Oh
like, when
yeah.
did you
I graduated high
get done with
school
that?
in
Yeah,
2017, 12th grade. Yeah, Twen-
2017.
yeah. I
What was I
can't
doing
believe
at that point? That
that
was,
was like 5 years ago. Oh my gosh, that was like half a decade
yeah.
ago. Oh my gosh, or is
Bro,
it
I was in like, what, fucking seventh grade or some bullshit like that. No,
really
eighth grade.
eighth grade? Wow, okay.
Or something like that, eighth grade.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because, maybe. I don't know. Because, grades work differently out here. Like, they have
oh
one
yeah,
less. It's weird, but I just graduated a few days ago.
yeah,
So I got two perspectives.
yeah,
Um, Man, it's crazy. You never think you're gonna miss it until you're gone.
yeah. That's
And
true.
and to me, it actually hit me
Right afterwards.
immediately, like the
Yeah,
second I left. Um, and it's interesting for me because
yeah.
I was always I would always like say like my parents, my brother would always urge me to like make friends and like
Make
go
friends.
out,
Yeah,
talk to people, and blah, blah. But I would always be like, nah, I don't really care about the school. I don't care about the people. I'm gonna leave anyway, and they're not gonna know anything about me. And I was always the type of person that would be like, oh, you guys are not gonna know anything about me after you graduate, right?
yeah,
But after you go through it, and you don't know what you have until it's lost, right?
yeah,
But to me, I don't know. I feel like I feel like it hits me harder than some of my classmates,
yeah,
and it also hits me harder than for multiple reasons. It also hits me harder than like, for example, people like who went to like public school in like the U.S. or even like Australia or stuff like that.
yeah,
And I feel like it's because of the system, the way the system works. Right now, I'm not an
yeah,
expert in Australia, so you're
yeah.
gonna have
That's
to remind
alright.
me on that
No
later.
worries.
But like for example, in the U.S., right, which
Yeah,
I am very familiar with, the
yeah,
system works okay, so you have you have elementary school, you have middle school, you have high school, right?
yeah,
And they're different entities entirely. So
yeah,
let's say you went to one elementary school, then you have to transfer to a middle school, then you transfer over to a high school. Now there's exceptions to that. There's places where like they're connected and stuff like that, but
yeah.
that's very far and few between, especially
Yep.
for public schools. So for example, you could go to like elementary school with like a couple people,
Yeah.
and then you end up going to middle school with a different crowd and maybe a couple people from your elementary school, and then you go to high school and you end up with a different crowd, but maybe some people from your middle school, maybe some people from your elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Keeping in mind that district stuff and everything, but
Yeah.
and the thing with that as well is like for example in high school in the US, you could be a senior, and let's say you have your entire graduating class, which are also seniors, right?
Yeah.
And you might only take classes with like 10 of the 5 of them, and you only take some classes with them,
Yeah.
and you can take some classes with like freshmen and sophomores and
Wait, can
juniors,
you
right?
explain to me what's a freshman and a sophomore? I've
Okay,
heard.
so there's
Yeah.
like 4 years of high school, right?
Yeah.
The first one is freshman year, then sophomore, then junior, and then senior year, right? So senior year would be your last, freshman would be your first year of high school, which is ninth grade, right?
Yeah.
Then 10th grade would be sophomore, 11th grade would be junior, and then 12th grade would be senior, right?
Yeah.
Um, but out here, it actually works different, you
In
know?
Colombia,
Um,
right?
yeah.
How does
The
it
way
work
it
in
works
Colombia?
is one, the people you meet in elementary school, you better get used to those people because those are the same people you're going to be graduating with, right?
Really?
Well, granted that some people are going to get kicked out because they fucking fail, or
Oh
like
yeah, yeah. Of
new
course,
people are going to come in,
exceptions.
but
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
most part, those are the people you're stuck with,
yeah,
because for the most part out here, your elementary school,
yeah.
middle school, and high school are all one school, right?
Shit.
There's no elementary school. It's just the elementary section of your school, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah.
could be, I used to like just walk around and like the little like first graders would like sometimes walk in front of me, right?
Yeah.
Um, And so it works like that, right? So, and also you have your graduating class, right?
Uh-huh.
Whereas in the US, where you have your graduating class, and like say, for example, oh, I take my chemistry class with like 2 people from my graduating class, right?
Yeah.
And 7 freshmen and like 2 sophomores, right?
Yeah.
And then I take my math class with like none of my senior peers
Yeah.
and like a bunch of freshmen, a bunch of sophomores. Over here, you never take classes with freshmen, senior. You take classes only with your graduating class.
Oh.
And also, because of the way it's set up, you have like, for example, let's say you're in 10th grade, right?
Yeah.
You have 10A, 10B, 10C, 10D, depending on the school, right? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. And that's the class you're assigned to, and that's the class you're taking every class with. Those people, right?
Yeah.
Those like 20 to 30, 25 to 35 people, those are the people you're going to be spending the entire school year with. And then the next school year, you just get switched out with people from the other classes, so you all become friends. And you've known them since like you were like 5, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why it hits me way
Yeah.
harder, I feel, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because in the US, for example,
Yeah.
let's say you graduate and you're like, oh, look, my friends, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, whatever, right?
Yeah.
In here, it's like you're letting go of basically people you've known since you were a little kid in diapers.
Yeah.
You're letting go of essentially, and because I'm coming out of a old boys school, right?
Yeah.
There's a sense of brotherhood that happens.
Mhm.
So you're essentially letting go of brothers, people you've grown to know and love as brothers, right?
Yeah.
As much as for years I was always like, I hate these people, I don't like them. Bro, someone messes with them, I might feel a certain way about it. I might do something about it,
Yeah.
because they're like brothers to me.
Yeah.
Like letting go of them is like letting go of like a family member, almost like a relative.
Yeah.
You're like, I've known, like, I look at my classmates,
Yeah.
18 years old, graduating high school, and I remember this dude like pissing his pants when he was 6 years old, right? And I remember that, and they remember me when I was like 8 and stuff, because I transferred over to the school when I was 8, so I've spent like less time than most of them. Most of them have spent like 12 years. I've spent like 9 maybe, so not that much more, right?
Yeah.
But still, they've known me since I was like 8, and
Yeah.
I've grown up with so many of these people that it's like crazy. There's only a few that were new, and even like one of my best friends, he's been in that school for like 3 years, and I still see him as a brother, like crazy.
Yeah.
The amount of brotherhood that happens.
Yeah.
But another reason why I feel like it hits me harder than some of my fellow
Peers.
graduates
Oh,
is
graduates,
because I feel like a lot of them, the thing they have the most attachment to is their classmates, like I just explained, their brothers and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, for one, we're all graduating, so everyone's leaving the school.
Yeah.
And on a second thought, they're all going to be able to be friends after that. If you want to keep in contact with someone, then keep in contact with someone.
Yeah.
Even if it's impossible, even if like maybe they're leaving the country or something like that, you
Yeah.
can still keep in contact.
Yeah, of course.
My thing is that I'm more anchored down and attached to the things that are not leaving that school, right?
Yeah.
Whether that be the actual place, the rooms, the buildings, everything,
Yeah.
the atmosphere, or one of the most important things are the teachers. And the reason I say that, and it sounds stupid, is because I've always been the type to, I mean, you know me, bro. You're like how old?
22.
22, yeah. I've always been one to hang out with people that are older than me, right?
Yeah.
And it was always, I don't know, it always just kind of happened like that. Mostly
Yeah.
because I always spent time with, my family, which is, of course, older than me. My brother's like 22 as well, right?
Yeah.
So it also feels like, that and most of my friends were also like 20-something.
Yeah.
Or well, at the time, like one of my best friends for a long time, I met him when I was like 13. He was like 17, right?
Yeah.
And we became good friends, and it's been a ride, but I've always been friends with people that are older than me. So
Yeah.
I learned to kind of default to that. And in a way, I do sometimes feel like an old person talking to my
Yeah.
peers, because even though I know I'm youthful, I'm
Yeah.
18, I'm youthful. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I'm an old man. I mean, physically, sometimes my hip starts giving out on me, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like yesterday, I was at the movies, and I
Yeah.
was like, "What the fuck? My hip is giving out on me. My knees are
Yeah.
shaking." I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know.
Yeah.
But also because one, sometimes the shit they talk about, I'm like, I'm not up with trends sometimes and
Yeah.
slang and shit like
Yeah.
that. You know, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? And also because I'm used to talking to people who are a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
So that does give me some. And as pretentious as it sounds, I firmly believe that in many ways, not every way, but in many ways, I've outgrown some of my peers in maturity way faster than I should have.
Yeah,
Um,
that happens sometimes.
yeah, and that sounds really pretentious, but I mean, if you look at it, I think it's true.
Yeah.
Um, which is actually why, again, I've gotten along with teachers a
Yeah.
lot in a different level. Like for example, I told you about this one teacher of mine, right?
Yes.
Um, who was my philosophy teacher, my senior and junior year,
Yeah.
where I developed a bond based on like, look, she is a crazy son of a bitch. All right,
Okay.
she has spent like 40 minutes sometimes just talking to me about how much she loves to go out and drink and party and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, but even though I'm not that type of person, I don't go out and drink. Blah, blah, blah. I don't drink. I don't go out parties.
Yeah.
We got along in a different level. It's a
Yeah.
level that I'd say is deeper than that in many ways.
Yeah.
Whereas like conversations about other things.
Yeah.
And those things are the ones that I cherish because they are also the things that I can only really talk about with people like that. My classmates really, I'm not saying they couldn't have a conversation about that, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying they don't want to, right?
Yeah.
A lot of my classmates, you start talking about like some bullshit about like, like the stuff that we're going to talk about next episode,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
And in like fucking 8 months or who knows.
Yeah.
They just don't want to,
Yeah.
they just can't be fucked. They want to talk about how drunk they got last
Yeah.
like Saturday, right? And that's all fair, whatever. It doesn't make me smarter than you or anything, but it just means that I can't get along with you that well, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't have a lot to talk about because I didn't get drunk last Saturday, right? So I can't talk about how drunk I got
Yeah.
last Saturday. So sometimes I do talk to and those are the things that are going to be staying back there, right?
Yeah.
That are not going to be moving with me. And yes, I can keep contact, and I will, but they're still staying there,
Yeah.
So I'm the only one who's moving forward, and I know that in a few months when I'm completely out of this place, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going to be having any physical connection with any of them, right? And then
Yeah.
that's a thing that really makes you think. And also just, I mean, again, that place grew to be like a second home to me. Even though I
Oh.
denied it for so long, it grew to be like a second home.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that actually I and I'm going to be completely honest with you in this.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I ever got like assimilated into that school properly.
Oh.
And I don't feel like it was actually my fault. I wanted to, but I just feel like it never happened.
Yeah.
And my classmates were always on their own little bubble, and I was in my own. I've been part of friend groups, and they just randomly cast me out or just ignore my existence.
Yeah.
Not acknowledge my I was like, bro, I was like big part of this one group.
Yeah.
They were taking yearbook pictures with like the different groups and everything.
Yeah.
And they completely left me out of it. This one group, I'm not gonna say their name. They probably know who they are, right?
Yeah.
And everything. And I'm like, okay, fine. You know what? It is what it is. Most of those, the people in my school, they live their own lives. They probably don't fuck with me that much, But at the end of the day, they're still my brothers, and I love them for it.
Yeah.
Even if they don't like me,
Yeah.
I like them. Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe not as people. Even maybe there are some that I hate as people, but just out of merit of being someone who I've known since I was like fucking 8.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
It's
Man.
actually one of the things where redacted name Kylan, right?
Yeah.
Like she was actually friends with some of my classmates before she knew me.
Oh, okay.
And and she had a bunch of problems with them. And one thing that I realized that she didn't realize, right?
Yeah.
She probably came in with her friends and was like, "Oh, look, they're a group of friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like all these guys, they're all friends, right?" But I don't think they realized that we grew up together, basically, right?
Oh my
Like
god.
it's not that we're not just friends. We grew up together. We saw each other
Yeah.
grow up, and which is why, like when, for example, when all the issues happened and she started hating them, I couldn't bring myself to hate them, even though I hated what they did,
Yeah.
because I'm like, even if I hate what they did and I don't want to talk to them, it's hard for me to hate someone who I've known for so
So
long
long.
and
Yeah.
so deeply. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's, and that's why it's harder for me to move past that, because the bond that we created wasn't just friendship, it was brotherhood.
Yeah.
So letting go of that is way harder than just letting go of your friends, you know?
Yeah. That is.
Um, so it feels, I don't know, weird. It's conflicting because on one end, I'm really happy that I'm out of it for multiple reasons.
Yes.
I like, I like taking ownership of things and
Yeah.
taking control over my own life and
Yeah,
working.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love working, you know that.
Yeah.
So being out of high school gives me a lot of possibilities to do that, right?
Yeah.
And also, I don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to school every day. And also, I
Yeah.
don't have to
Yeah.
worry about homework every day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, part of me kind of wishes that I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to school every day, and that I had to go to sleep stressed out on whether or not I did all my homework. You
Yeah.
know? Part of me wants that, because part of me wants the just knowing that I'm still there. You know?
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to move forward in life and I don't want to tackle the real world, but just because I'm so attached to that place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a bummer, but that's how life is.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
is.
sometimes you gotta let go of things and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Try to maybe stay attached to it as much as you can, but at some point, I'm
Yeah.
aware that I'm gonna have to almost completely let go of it.
Yeah.
And you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
When I do have to take those steps, I'll take them.
Yeah.
But as long as it's not completely necessary, I'll keep whining about how much I want to go back.
Yeah.
It's awful, bro. Awful.
That is. I mean, like, that is pretty hard on you, because like you've grew up basically with the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really hard, because how it works here in Australia, well, compared to the US and Colombia, is like it's just primary school and then high school, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And well, before primary school you got like preschool, which is like
Yeah.
yeah, you know. But like you go to each different schools each time from different levels. So like primary school, you could go to a different primary school, or like high school, different high school. But I grew up in a I went to a public primary school, and then in high school I went to a private one, which was like it was a Catholic school, and it was mixed. Both the primary school and the high school was both mixed. So it's like oh no, it's not mixed. It's like co-ed was they say, you know, like yeah. But like overall, it was good. Like both my experience in primary school and high school, um, but the only thing that let me down was just the last 2 years of high school. That's when everything just went down for me, because like I just like, you know, I've told you about this in my past, yeah, like you know, like with the mental health going down and stuff, and yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed high school the most, because you know, even though I was like a loner at most times, but that's because I had fewer friends, I guess, because you know, I just seemed to be like, I don't know, it just felt like I'm out of place, or like I'm not saying I'm better than everyone else, but I'm just saying that like everyone's just on a different level, you know, they got a different wavelength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just different.
Yeah.
You're
you know?
not better, not worse, just
different vibes.
tangential, you know,
yeah.
you're adjacent.
Yeah. And like there was one point in 12th grade where like after like I got out of the hospital, because what happened was I was in hospital for like some time. I think 29 days. I was in The weird thing is they put me in an adult hospital first, and then they put me in a children's hospital. In the last 9 days, they were supposed to put me in the children's hospital first, but then they couldn't do that because yeah, because time constraints, I guess. But like, I met a few people in my time in hospital. Like one of them was like the highest level of a piano player. He was like concert
Yeah.
level pianist. And this other woman I found, she's like way older than me. She's like probably in her early 40s now. I'm still in contact with her. It's just such a shame how nice people could also be like lonely too, you know? Like how nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like they don't have that much friends, or like they don't have partners, or yeah. But like talking about high school anyways, yeah, it's like I did some stupid stuff too, but like then again, you know, others probably did more stupid stuff than me. Like I've told you about how I almost got into a fight. Or I did. It was like an altercation, but like it didn't end up being a fight. It was more like
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, yeah, in a few podcasts ago. Yeah, I was grateful for that, cause but then at the same time, like people had this bad view of me because of that. But like I was also grateful because no one would fuck around with me, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, I mean, like you know, like high school is something you think you won't miss, but you'll miss it like once you realize it's gone, you know.
Yeah. You always try to speed up the process.
Yeah,
And it's because high school is a way to make you focus on the shit that doesn't matter.
yeah,
Like they put too much pressure on you to, study, get the grades and
yeah. Get the
everything.
grades and everything, but
They
like,
don't put enough pressure on something else that also matters, which is appreciate your bonds with people, your
yeah,
friendships, your
yeah,
bonds of, even love,
yeah,
appreciate spending time with people, teamwork. They focus too much on the things that you don't like, and so
yeah,
you want to get it over with.
yeah.
And then after you get done with the stuff that you wanted to get over with, you're like, shit,
I should have done
I
this.
spent so much time wanting to get rid of the bad stuff that I
Yeah,
didn't appreciate the good stuff.
yeah. It's such a shame, man. But that's
So
just high school.
sometimes you do what I said. You want to go back to the bad stuff just so you can experience the good stuff again.
Exactly, man. That's why I've also been dreaming a lot about high school lately. Like this past few years, I've just
Yeah.
been dreaming a lot about high school. Like, but even weirdly enough, when I was like starting off in high school, I was dreaming a lot of stuff about primary school. But yeah,
To
oh
just
man,
stick in the past.
it's like thinking about the past, you know, like oh man, it's like I should have done this, I should have done that and stuff, you know. But
Yeah.
it's the past, you know. It's like if only like if you were to do it all again, you know, you could do some things just differently, you know. Like for
Yeah.
example, like in music, I done music class in year 9 to 10, right? It was an elective.
Yeah.
I would have I would have if I had the knowledge right now of what I had what I have with music theory or
Mhm.
playing, I would have done way better in music or just
Yeah.
music in general in my life, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
because it's
You like
something
move on in life and then you're like, shit.
I should
You
have
know, you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20, right?
done. Yeah,
You always look back and you're like, shit, that could have been went much better, right?
yeah,
Like you always make the right decisions after the things
that have
had
happened.
already
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
And that to me translated in like not so much, class and stuff. Like, yeah, I know a little bit more about math, than I did
yeah,
when I was like 10. Would I have done better in math with my knowledge now? Yes. Do I care? No, right?
yeah.
But to me, it's more about
It's more about
the again the people, the interactions.
yeah, yeah. The
Um,
social interaction. Same here. I
I
should have
feel
done
like,
that too.
especially in the past few months, I feel like there are a lot of things that I could have
Done more, better or
done better.
differently.
I could have said differently
Yeah,
in order to, or things that I could have even said, period, in order to cherish and protect certain bonds that I have that
yeah,
I somewhat neglected. Um,
yeah,
like again, I feel like again I focus too much on the wrong shit. Again, going back to like Anna, like my philosophy teacher.
yeah,
I love her to death. I absolutely adore her. Um, as a person.
yeah,
Um, I just feel like she's great, fantastic human being, and
Yeah.
honestly, not only did I have like a lot of like intellectually enriching
Conversation.
conversations with
Yeah.
her, it was also about the fact that I mean, she also helped me with some stuff about my personal life, but
Yeah.
it was more about like, did I do enough to protect that bond, or did I throw it away? You know,
Yeah.
did I stuff with classmates and stuff like that? You know, like,
Yeah.
did I protect those bonds, or did I waste time? And that's why, for example, I'm not in contact with a lot of my classmates now.
Yeah.
You know, because I could have said things differently,
Differently.
or because I
Yeah.
could have said things period, or
Yeah.
because I could have acted a certain way. You know,
Yeah.
and maybe the reason I didn't do those things it was because I was too worried about when is this shit gonna end. You know,
Yeah.
and I didn't worry about shit today.
Yeah.
I need to learn more about these people and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, for example,
Yeah.
as much as I love like some of my classmates to death, like not gonna say names. I already threw
Yeah.
out my fucking philosophy teacher's name
Yeah.
out
It's
there. I'm
alright.
sorry if
It's
you're
alright.
hearing this. You're probably not, but I'm sorry. But Anna, you know, love her to death. There are some classmates that they
Yeah.
know who they are. You know,
Yeah.
not classmates, brothers. You know,
Yeah.
loved them to death.
Mm.
But
Yes.
even though I love them to death, I feel like I don't know if they necessarily feel the same way back. And I know
Yeah.
that in most cases they don't, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and it might be because it's my own fault. You know,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't do enough to have them have that vision of me, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas they actually did enough to have them. They actually, here's the thing with people, you don't actually need to do a lot to get me to think that of you because all you have to do is like kind of like be yourself and I'll just look at you for long enough that I'll figure out if you mean that to me, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I guess I just didn't do enough, you know?
Yeah.
In some cases, you know, there are things about my relationships with the people that I already mentioned that I feel like, well, some of them actually,
Yeah.
right? I feel like as much as I loved that it happened and
Yeah.
how they happened
Yeah.
and I love them to death,
Yeah.
I feel like they're already dead. Like they're already gone. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, they're already gone. Some of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't want them to be.
Of course.
But I feel like it just so happened that
So quickly. It's like there's
exactly.
nothing
And
you
I,
can do
it
to stop
happened
it.
that those people and you know, not everyone has to like you too.
Yeah.
So maybe I just didn't click with those people as much as they
Yeah.
clicked with me. Because honestly, like someone like, for example, like Anna, right?
Yeah.
She impacted me in a very special way, but I can say with full confidence that I didn't impact her in any fucking way, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I didn't. So there's the thing about, okay, because to me, friendship doesn't necessarily have to be a two-way road for me.
Oh.
I can be friends with you, and you don't necessarily have to be friends with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can be my friend,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily have to be your friend. If you don't see me as a friend, that's fine. But if I see you as a friend, that's valid to me.
Yeah.
You know? Because that means that you did something or acted a certain, or you just mean something to me that I just don't mean to you,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Although ideally in a friendship, it would be, you know, it would go both ways, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like, okay, you
Definitely.
mean something to me, I mean something to you.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen like that to me, it's still completely valid to call someone your friend,
Yeah.
even if they would never call you their friend.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's how it works in a lot of situations with me
High school.
and some of the people that I met throughout
Yeah.
my school career in general, right?
Yeah. I think I feel the same way because like usually like I just call people classmates. Like if I'm not too close to
Mhm.
them, like they may consider me as a friend or classmate or vice versa. But like I feel the same way how you're feeling right now. Like the fact that we had this thing we had to do this thing like before we graduate, like a few weeks before we graduate, we had to write like a something special to this person, but it has to
Mhm.
be anonymous. And like
Yeah.
one of them I got was like I wish I knew you more or was close to you or something. Like, oh man, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. It's such a shame how, like, like
Yeah,
the time you spent is not it's just gone, because like even though you had the time, and like it's just gone. Like, because for
exactly.
me,
And you don't appreciate certain
yeah,
things.
you don't appreciate it until it's gone. Because like what happened to me was most of my high school life, I had no social media. The main reason why is because my account got hacked on Facebook on eighth grade, and like it just started
Yeah.
spamming everyone. Like, I just started freaking out. I had to deactivate it. I had no Facebook until I was like 11th grade, and that was about it.
Hmm.
I was like, what, like 3 years, maybe four, three years
Yeah.
of no social media, and like most of the time I just talk to people like my best friend or my other friend from I've been friends with from primary school, and that's about it.
Hmm.
Just like doing my own thing, and like, but it's a shame how I didn't connect with a lot of people. But I'm starting to connect with some of my peers or my friends from high school sometimes. Like, one of them I recently um been in contact with, like, but not in person, just like online. Like, I haven't seen him since I spoke to him since like 11th grade, because what happened was I was gone for a long time in between 11th and 12th grade, because I had to like isolate, because I had mental illness. And like
Yeah.
what happened to him was he got expelled because his attendance rate was very low, and like he got arrested, and because it was
Yeah.
an accident
Shit.
anyways. He didn't mean it. What happened was, like, he was about to stab himself, and then he realized, no, I shouldn't do this, and he threw the knife, and he accidentally hit his mom.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah,
Jesus
the
Christ.
police came in,
Is
and
she all right though?
yeah, she was alright.
Did she?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, that was crazy, man. Wow, man. Wow. It's such a shame how you just don't realize it, like, until it's gone. It's like you should have connected with these people or
And
more
it's
people.
because sometimes you don't even know what you're supposed to be appreciating
Yeah,
until, again, you're done with it, and then you're like, man, that's what I was supposed to be
yeah,
appreciating, Because some of those holes in your heart and in your soul are
yeah,
filled up without you even realizing it. Then when
yeah,
they're no longer there, you're like, you start feeling the emptiness, and you're like,
yeah,
why? I never felt that. But it's because you never knew that you needed something to patch up that hole, because you never
yeah,
knew that hole was there. You thought that was just filled up by default, right?
yeah,
Um, and unfortunately, again, those things, because as much as bonds with people can be added onto your repertoire, right?
yes,
You can make more friends that are
yes,
going to be super close. You
yeah,
can get as many girlfriends as you want and love them all the same,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's true that you can never replace that person,
it's true,
right? That
yes,
person's always going to be there. So
yeah,
you're always going to know that that one human being that you have that bond with,
yeah,
even if you have other bonds that are similar to it,
you
that one
can't,
person is gone,
yeah, it's
right? Like
gone, man.
like I can't, either, whether it be because they're actually gone, or because you didn't do enough or are not currently doing enough
Yeah,
to reach
sustain,
them, or
yeah,
because they're not doing enough to reach you.
yeah,
And throughout high school, you're full of that, where you're
yeah,
like, okay, I have like a billion classmates, I can be friends with a bunch of them, but then you start forgetting about that one person that you
yeah,
didn't quite learn to appreciate as much. And I don't know, it goes down the road. And the thing is, sometimes what happens as well is, what happened to me, for example, right,
yeah,
is, okay, oh, this person's super important to me, this person's super important to me, but at the end of the day, I'm not that important to them, right? Which
yeah,
is fine to me. For
yeah,
example, right? Like,
yeah,
I can tell you that, let's say, for example, one of my classmates, right?
yeah,
One of my best friends. Okay, love them to death. They're my friend. I love them. They're super special to me. But at the end of the day, they have like 20 other friends. If I were to disappear, they could just easily in a week forget about it, you know?
yeah,
Um, my philosophy teacher, right?
yeah,
As I have like 20 billion teachers, but out of all of them, she's the most special, right?
yeah,
But to her, I'm just one of her many students, right?
Yeah.
And one of the many students that's, like, for example, when my class graduates,
Yeah.
she's got 2 other classes backing up, right?
Yeah.
And coming in. So she's like, okay, so you who graduated in this year, blah, 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 you were just one of this many people, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, if I asked, for example, if I asked her, like, look around you, right?
Yeah.
Do you see anyone who is special to you, right? She'd probably be like, yes, right?
Yeah.
My students are very special to me, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sure they are, you know?
Yeah.
But that's where the situation lies. The fact that your students are special to you,
But are they
not the individual.
Yeah.
Maybe in some cases the individual, but I feel like, for example, in this case, while she stands out to me among the crowd of teachers,
Yeah.
I don't stand out among the crowd of students.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
one of many.
Not-
Easily replaceable, honestly.
Yeah.
You know? Where in with my classmates, for example, I'm just one of many classmates, one of many friends.
Yeah.
You knock one out, and then it's like, okay, bummer, but here are the other 20, right?
Yeah.
So, in which other 20 that out of which probably I get along with better with like 18 of them than the person that disappeared, right?
Yeah.
So it's a net neutral anyway, because I don't
Yeah.
really care, because I got along better with like 18 other people.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that's been the case with me in high school for a long time, where people might like me, you know?
Yeah.
In fact, I actually won an award for person that everyone likes for no reason.
Wait, what? You got an award?
Yeah, it's just like person that everyone likes for no apparent reason.
What the fuck? That's
Just
what
everyone likes me for no reason. But here's the thing:
Yeah.
people might like me, but am I special to people? Right?
Yeah. It's different.
Not really. I mean, I like some comedians, some celebrities, some actors, some musicians, right? But are
Yeah.
they special to me? Like, I like, I don't know, Dave Chappelle, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
is he special to me? Not really. If he stopped making comedy, I'm like, man, I really loved his shows, but
Yeah.
I guess I'll have to move on to another comedian. Right?
Yeah.
I liked him a lot, but he wasn't special to me, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the case with a lot of people. And I feel like that's kind of my problem as well in life, and it's that I I I I I actually open up to very few people, and
Okay.
I get to know very few people, and I end up liking very few people, which is why pretty much everyone I know that I consider close, that I care about, is
Yeah.
special to me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not like the type that'll be like,
Okay.
man, I really like them, but you know what? I got other friends. Move on, right? Blah blah blah. Oh shit, love this teacher, but I guess they're just a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm very careful who I pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
So that every single person that I choose is special to me.
Yeah.
Where people don't really do that too much. People just like people,
Yeah.
which ends up translating into a lot of replaceable or like recyclable people, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically the system of high school and the
Yeah, it
system
is.
of a lot of society beyond that as well, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're just one of a crowd, and I like the crowd, and I like you, but you're not special among the crowd.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true. Yeah.
And so that, and it's sometimes, you know, sometimes it does weigh on your heart knowing that this person is special to me, but I'm not special to them, you know?
Yeah.
But again, that's life, you know?
That is life, indeed.
That's life. That's how it is.
Yeah, man. Man, I was about to say something earlier, but I just forgot because you just mentioned that. Like, oh, man, that's just a huge thing to take in.
So my bad, bro.
But it's alright. I'm gonna go off topic here. You know how you mentioned like the artist, right? Like, for me, it's not about the artist specifically. It's the
Yeah.
thing. It's the product that they create.
And the art.
Yeah, the art. Yeah, the art. Like, it's like for me with music, for example, right? I listen to various genres and cultures, and it's more like the sound that I'm after. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when people ask me, like, whether if it's online or in person, like, oh, who's your favorite artist or what's your favorite song? It's like, I don't really have a favorite song or like artist. It's just like it's just like this various genres I like. But if people ask me like, "What's your favorite movie?" I don't know why I say this a lot, but it's Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one. I'm
A
serious.
great fucking film, bro.
It is. It is. It is indeed. Because I just can't make up my mind. I don't have a favorite artist or like a favorite song, but I do. What if they ask me like if I would answer just like, yeah, this is my favorite song at the moment, but I don't actually have like a top five favorite song of all time. You know, it's just like what I'm listening to at the moment in time and like what I listen to just in general. You know.
Mhm. But but here's the thing though. Even
Yeah.
if you translate that into like what I was saying, do you
Yeah.
have any genre of music that you feel like is special to you?
Yeah, there is. I think for me, the direction I'm going towards is the music that I'm trying to emulate or create with the sound that I'm trying to capture for me
Yeah.
as an artist is probably something like jazz or something like Latin jazz because like for example, I don't know if you know this song by I know you saw it at my status at one point. It
Which
was
one?
the one that was in Spanish like I think it means
Yeah.
I'm not jealous. something
I
something
don't
like that.
remember what it said, but yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
it was something like that. I just like that song because it's got jazz and like it's got this Latin like instrumental to it. Like I don't mind the rapping, but like I just wish it was more of
Mhm.
a fleshed out song that wasn't like just like it had less swearing because it had some swearing in it in Spanish, of course. But like
Yeah.
I can see myself doing like it's something special to me, you know. It's something unique, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing to me. But the thing is, to me,
yeah.
it's gonna a third layer. We're gonna open up a
Okay, we're
third layer.
gonna we're gonna throw layers now. Onions. Okay.
You have the artist, and
Yes.
then you have the art.
Yes. What's the third one?
What I care the most about is not really the artist. It's not really the art, although the art is very, very important.
Yes.
It's the artistry, right?
Oh man, I
So,
missed that so much.
so to me,
Missed that by a mile.
what I seek behind something is not the thing itself. It's not who made it, but it's the essence of the thing that was made by that person, you know?
Yes, I missed that
Which
so
is why to
much.
me, for example, and to me, artistry is what makes the artist, you know?
Yes,
Which is
indeed.
why when I encompass everything, when I say that I care about artistry
Yeah.
beyond everything, that also means that I really care about the artist and I really care about the art,
Art.
right?
Yes, I missed that so
Um,
much.
and I feel like if you translate that to what we were talking about, like that's why I care so much about the people that I do care about,
Yes.
because I
Telling
care
it
about
back.
the artistry behind them, and because I care about the artistry behind each person, I care
Yeah.
about the art and the artist. I care
Yes.
about the person as a whole in all their dimensions, in all their
Yes.
layers.
Oh man, I didn't
So
see this. I'm so glad you're
exactly.
you're telling me this, man. It
So
was something I'm missing.
I don't see my classmates. I don't see Anna. I don't see you as simply, oh, you're the funny guy, right? Or oh yeah, she's the cool teacher, right? Or
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's the funny classmate, or oh that's the serious classmate, you
Yeah.
know? And I don't even see it as, oh, that's the person that helped me with my homework and super nice guy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see you as like, oh, you've been my friend for so many years and you're the guy who's like really smart. And I don't see, no, I see all of that, but beyond that, I see who you are as a you know,
You. Yeah.
you.
Yes.
And that's what's important to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what kind of person you are. You are you, and which is why I feel like if someone were to switch up and act slightly different, I would still kind of see them the same, because even though their art has changed, their
There's.
artistry hasn't. You know what I mean?
Yes. Indeed.
And so that's when you start looking at a person as not a work of art, right? People are not works of art, and
Yes.
people are not artists. People are art. You know what I mean? They're not works of art. They're not artists. They're art,
Yeah.
which encompasses everything, including the artistry,
Yeah.
right? And once you learn to appreciate people like that, you learn to appreciate people in their lowest and their highest points,
Yes.
you know, despite anything, because you start looking at the person beyond
The scope.
those things, right?
Yeah.
You start looking at a person in a more, I guess kind of like going into next episodes like topic, or in a more metaphysical way,
Yes. Fucking.
this person belongs in a different layer than most people to me, that makes them special to me.
Yeah.
Whereas with other people, again, my problem is that people don't see me like that half the time,
Yeah.
right? People don't see me. People see me as like, oh, I'm the dude that has like that's like really serious, or I'm the dude that's really quiet, or I'm the dude,
Yeah.
and that's really where they stick. And or even if they like claim to be like really close friends, right?
Yeah.
They might just see me as like, oh, you are the quiet guy, but I also know that you're super nice and you would help anyone and you're really smart and you love these things. That means you really know me, right?
Yeah.
But you're still just seeing the very basics, You're
Yeah.
not really looking at me beyond that,
Yeah.
which means that in most cases, I'm not special to you,
Yeah.
Which is, again, why I fucking love everyone I mentioned, bro. You, my classmates, Anna, my
Yeah.
Kylan. Love them to death because I see them as a full set of things, a system, a whole
Yes.
system, the whole thing,
The whole.
Exactly. And when I look at music, when I
Yeah.
look at literature, when I look at games, I care about the artistry behind it as much as I care about, well, actually more than I care about the piece of art, and more than I care about the artist. When I listen to a song, of course I care about the artist, because if I know the artist's artistry, then I know what to expect, kind of, right?
Yeah. Kind of.
But
Yeah.
and if that impresses me enough, then I care about the artist as a person. So then I start seeing that in a different dimension, right?
Yeah.
But as purely as a content creator, whether it be a musician or anything,
Yeah.
I look for something there, right?
Yeah.
Something that elevates me, the artistry behind any game, the artistry behind
Yeah.
any book, behind a song.
Mm-hmm.
And then that leads to me caring about the piece of art, and that leads to me caring about the artist, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I see everything really that I like.
Yeah.
Which is why, for example, to me,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I love a lot of genres of music.
Yeah.
I love a lot of games, a lot of
Yeah.
books. But honestly, I don't care about them, right?
Yeah.
For example, rock. I grew up on a lot of rock.
Yeah.
I love rock.
Yeah.
Love the way it sounds,
Wait, I hate to interrupt, Jay. Just continue, but I'll talk about like something else, but still related to high school. Just keep going.
Okay. No, I'm just gonna cap off this point saying like I love rock,
Yeah.
but I don't really care about it,
Yeah.
Something like hip hop to me, for example, I care about it. I grew up with it more, I learned to look at it differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love it and I care about it a lot.
Yeah.
Country music even, I care about it. Folk music more like,
Yeah.
care about it a lot. But rock, I just like it. I don't care about it too much. It's not special to me.
Oh,
I
okay,
just
yeah.
like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes for like anything, any media, any person, anything.
Yeah.
So you were gonna say?
Yeah, because you mentioned books, and that's one of the things I kind of wished I'd done more in high school as well. Because like I read too, but like not the same way as other people did. It was like most people they read novels, whereas me I just read like a few graphic novels and maybe just like encyclopedias and some other forms of literature. But like it's one of the things I should have done in high school, or just school in general, like even primary school I should have done more. But like to appreciate like you said, the artistry, not necessarily the artist or the art, the work of art, but like the artistry,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In fact, if you translate that to a bigger scope, what would the point like I was trying to make throughout this entire conversation really, and the point that you were kind of trying to make,
Yeah.
was appreciating the artistry of school beyond anything else,
Yeah.
appreciating the essence of school beyond everything, the essence of that time in your life,
Yeah.
the essence of every working cog and mechanism
Yeah.
in that part of your life beyond the simple, oh, because at the end of the day, oh, math, physics, all this bullshit is inconsequential when you start looking at the essence of what it means to be in school,
Yeah.
what it means to be growing with people, what it means to be learning about people, about how people think, how people say things, how,
Yeah.
just those things, learning the artistry behind high school beyond learning the art piece or the
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah.
because people tend to think too much about the art pieces and the
Yeah.
artists of
Yeah.
school. Why do I learn math? Why do I learn physics? All these
Yeah.
things,
Yeah.
and they stop thinking about the essence of it all,
Yeah.
and that essence is what you realize that you missed after you graduate, and then you look back and you're like, I completely missed the point, you know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens a lot in life in general.
Yes, it is.
You get through something and then you look back and you're like, I completely missed the point.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that sometimes it happens because you really had no way to know what was the point of something
Yeah.
until afterwards.
It's
You know,
gone. Yeah. Or it's
so
past. Yeah.
exactly. So it's school is almost like a catch-22. You
It
can't
is.
win
You can't win.
because no
Yeah.
matter what you do, you're always gonna miss the point
Yeah. That's true, and
until
that's just like life in general,
yeah,
Because like,
yeah, exactly.
because at the end of the day, school is just school, and like it's not gonna go anywhere unless, of course, it gets renovated and like or it gets changed or something. But like, like that's that's education, it's a continual process, and that's like the same
Yeah,
with life. You learn from life, from various experiences and people, and like they'll show you different things. They'll show you different approach and methodologies and all that. But at the same time, like what you're gonna you're gonna like hindsight, you're gonna miss the point
hmm
of what you were trying to achieve or what you would have done better,
yeah. In
Yeah.
fact, little teaser for next episode.
We could do it next after this if you want. For metaphysics, if you're down for it.
Um,
We're almost at one hour, anyways. We've got like 9 minutes left. If you just wanna end this episode, and
yeah,
then
we got to cap it off.
yeah.
I think let's end it off with this teaser.
Okay, sure.
I feel like it leads off perfectly into
Yes, yes, yes. It
Um,
does.
you look at religion, you
Okay.
look at the universe, at science and
Yes.
everything, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of political debate around it,
Yes.
a lot of theological debate around it,
Yes. Yes.
a lot of scientific debate around it, and I feel like everyone has their own views on whether God exists and whether the universe came to be a certain way and whether we need God to exist and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like the reason I don't really involve myself in those conversations is because at the end of the day, and this is what I'm going to try to explain
Right,
my
expand.
view on
Yeah.
the next episode,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has entirely missed the point. Everyone, absolutely everyone, priests,
Whoa.
pastors, scientists,
I missed the point.
enlightened redditors, um,
Yeah.
normal people, anyone who's ever really talked about religion in that way,
Yeah.
I feel like has completely missed the point of religion, of God, of science,
Yeah.
of the universe itself. I
Yeah.
feel like they've completely missed the point of it all. And I feel like that's something that you can only look at in hindsight once you've realized that you've already done enough damage, not only to your world, but to other people's worlds,
Yeah.
because you entirely missed the point.
Yes. And we'll stop it right there, and we'll go to the next episode right after this. I'll see you guys in the next episode.